A pair of small subways scored big in their latest evaluations by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. The off-road-ready 2018 Crosstrek crossover, along with the sporty 2018 WRX sedan, were named Top Safety Picks Plus, the highest designation the IIHS can award a vehicle. While the WRX carries over unchanged, aside from updated headlights, the Crosstrek was completely redesigned for the 2018 model year. Now sharing the same underlying structure as the compact Impreza hatchback, with some SUV styling cues and a raised suspension, the subcompact crossover improved significantly from the previous model year. The 2018 Crosstrek earned good ratings in all 5 crashworthiness tests and even picked up a good plus rating in the Latches of Use category. The 2017 Impreza also earned this rating thanks to easily findable tethers and anchors in each of the 3 rear seats of both vehicles. The Crosstrek's superior rated front crash prevention system, optionally equipped as part of Subaru's EyeSight driver assistance system, helped it avoid fender benders in both low and high-speed tests. EyeSight includes automatic emergency braking, lane keep assist with lane departure warning, high beam assist, and radar cruise control. The WRX, also when equipped with EyeSight, earned a superior rating as it avoided collisions in both tests as well. Improving by leaps and bounds in the headlights category, the WRX earned a good rating when equipped with EyeSight, since the system includes high beam assist, something that has become almost a requirement in the eyes of the IIHS in the last 2 model years. As for the Crosstrek, even with EyeSight, the headlights earned an acceptable rating, which is still a passing grade, but substantially improves the previous generation's poor headlights rating across all trim levels. Because both subways had poor headlights last year, they had to settle for top safety pick designations. Back in the 2016 model year, the IIHS didn't factor in headlights in its rating system, so the WRX scored the plus rating in 2016. In regards to the Crosstrek, the story was the same with a top safety pick in 2017 and a plus in 2016. The new Crosstrek has yet to be scrutinized by the NHTSA, but the previous generation earned a 5-star overall rating, with blemishes in the form of 4-star ratings in the frontal crash and rollover categories. The WRX has never been evaluated by the NHTSA, so no ratings are available.
There's simply nothing like the boxer engine rumble. The rough and mechanical hustle of the horizontally opposed cylinders firing, and the throbbing exhaust note that emanates from the back end of the car. It's one of the things that makes the 2018 Subaru WRX STI spec R so special. What is the spec R, you might be asking? Well, actually, there's probably zero chance you don't know what it is, because if you're reading this review, you're probably like me, a hardcore, long-term WRX fan. I've owned one WRX among 5 Subarus, 15 cars, total, and it's easily the car I miss most of all. For those who aren't across it, though, the spec R is a newly added flagship offering that tops the WRX STI lineup, and has a bunch of extra goodies that help it stand out. Not to mention a price tag that's a bit of a sore thumb in its own right. The WRX STI Spec R, along with the STI Premium, sees the addition of a front view camera and curbside camera, great for avoiding gutter scuffs on those new 19-inch alloy wheels, which in the spec sit over the top of mutant green STI branded Brembo brake calipers and cross-drilled rotors. There has been a subtle facelift to the grille and bumper, and it has new active bending LED headlights that are brilliant at night, not to mention LED fog lights. Inside, the STI Spec R is fitted with shapely Recaro sports seats, the drivers with 8-way electric adjustment, but unfortunately without memory settings or lumbar adjustment, and, to this driver's taste at least, the seating position is still too high. Things like the new 5.9-inch instrument display on top of the dashboard, replacing a smaller 4.3-inch unit, that can show you things like boost pressure and fuel use, and extra black gloss elements, including the center console area, shifter surround and the bezel on the steering wheel, add to the ambience, and it feels more mature as a result, though it isn't at the same level of the more refined and smarter Subaru Impreza and XV models, both of which have superb media systems and nicer trims and finishes. That said, it's still a practical offering, with easily enough space for 4 adults, clever interior storage options, a big boot for its size, 460 liters, and a space-saver spare wheel. Even a sunroof comes as standard. There's the requisite Bluetooth phone and audio streaming, sat-nav, a fully hectic 8-speaker plus subwoofer stereo from Harman Kardon, and dual USB ports complementing a pair of 12-volt outlets. It's all very logical and likable, if not entirely special. Now let's consider the price. This version is $57,690 plus on-road costs, making it the equal most expensive Subaru STI sedan model in this generation, alongside last year's Hyper Blue STI. Check out the full 2018 Subaru WRX and WRX STI range pricing and specs. Admittedly, you do get a fair bit of equipment for that money, including some elements that make this iteration of the WRX STI the safest yet. This model has blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert and automated high beam lights. All of the tech supplements the existing 6 airbags, stability control and kid-friendly seat attachment points, dual ISOFIX, 3-top tether, but there's no forward collision warning, adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assistance or autonomous emergency braking. But because the type of buyer who'd consider a WRX STI is likely to be a competitive person, it's best to also take heed of the vehicles against which the Subaru should be measured. If we're talking about performance-oriented all-wheel drive cars around the $55K mark, then there are superb models such as the Ford Focus RS and Volkswagen Golf R, neither of which can be ignored. The Golf even has the option of a dual-clutch auto, where the Ford and Subby are both manual-only affairs. The STI Spec R retains the same pounding 2.5-liter 4-cylinder boxer engine with 221 kilowatts of power at 6,000 RPMs and 407 Nm of torque at 4,000 RPMs. Those outputs weren't to be sneezed at when the STI came out back in 2013, but they're only a few kilowatts up on the version that launched way back in 2005, with 206 kilowatts per 392 Nm. And I think it's fair to say that, due to the raft of handling enhancements made to this 2018 model version, it feels like less power than ever before. Let's remember that the Focus RS has 257 kilowatts per 440 Nm from a smaller capacity engine than the Subaru. And because it's a competition, the RS can sprint from 0 to 100 km per hour in 4.7 seconds, which is half a second faster than the STI, 5.2 seconds. Even the Golf R, with its relatively meager 213 kilowatts per 380 Nm, has a superior sprint time, as low as 4.8 seconds. Part of the reason behind the Subaru's 0 to 100 km per hour sluggishness, too harsh, is because there's no launch control mode, and the clutch action takes some perfecting. It is strong lower in the rev range, and builds pace with vigor, but it isn't the manic explosion of its closest competitor. It isn't the edge of your seat, scruff of your neck experience it once was. The goalposts have moved for performance offerings in this space, that's for sure, but there's still plenty of fun to be had in the Subi. With the reworked suspension and shocks of the 2018 model having been stiffened up to reduce body roll and improve control and stability in the bends, this is now a chassis that feels like it could easily handle more, even in the most frantic drive mode, Sport. The Yokohama Avant Sport Rubber, in 245/35 sizing, offers pretty good grip, though when you push it in tighter bends it can understeer, and the STI spec R still has the clever diff controller that allows the driver to decide the bias of the torque delivery. There's not much need for that on public roads, though, and the auto setting can adjust things if needed. The 6-pot front and 2-pot rear Brembo brakes help pull it up honestly, but the pedal feel is a little dull. All WRX and WRX STI models have torque vectoring by braking too, which helps keep the car in line in the twisty stuff. While Subaru's efforts with the car's suspension has been rewarding in corners, there's a price to pay around town. The ride is very stiff, and around Sydney's back streets there was some complaints from my fellow testers, with road joints and potholes proving a little too jarring to live with. At higher speeds, the suspension offers great body control. Despite a firm edge to the ride, I can forgive that, because the WRX I own was lowered for more control. There's some exhaust rumble at speed, but it doesn't drone. It does at idle, and that can be annoying in a garage or parking lot, but on coarse-chip country roads there is an extreme amount of road noise. Fuel use is rated at a realistic 11.2 liters per 100 kilometers, and on test I saw just over that, at 11.5 L/100 kilometers. Not a bad average, considering I did a bit of hard driving, because it's hard not to, along with some urban and highway stretches. Bear in mind that you have to shell out for 98 Romanian lei premium fuel, though, so owning a WRX STI is not a cheap experience. And on the topic, maintenance is due every 6 months or 12,500 kilometers, with a capped price service plan spanning 3 years/75,000 kilometers. The average service cost over that period is $382, or $765 per annum. It has a 3-year unlimited kilometer warranty plan, and 12 months roadside assist included. While the review score here may be lower than it has been in the past, that's not to suggest the STI is worse than it ever has been. In fact, it's probably better than ever before, but the problem is, so are its competitors. That doesn't make the Subaru WRX STI spec R a bad option, but it does make it hard to suggest this is the best option in the marketplace where you have such strong competitors. We'd reckon a regular old STI, or even a standard WRX with some mods thrown at it, would make more sense for the majority of buyers.